Hello and welcome to the Cow Corner Dugout. And here we are. It's an interesting match day. The Sunrisers are playing the Gujarat Titans, and the sun is not anywhere rising when it comes to Hyderabad because today they're about to be walloped by Gujarat Titans, and this is something that we had spoken about last night. If you had joined us on the pod, and to speak about that are the usual four people combination of Neerav, Trinay, and Dorian. Well, welcome guys.
Hello.
Hello
The
there.
sun only rises in the east. Today they're playing in the west.
Today they're playing in the west, and unfortunately, the sun sets in the west, but sun rises. Really, have been. I don't know. I think I kind of expected that Gujarat with their new ball attack is very potent in Ahmedabad, and yeah.
But it's
So,
down to these
but
wickets, right? Because if, I mean, we've known this about them all through, right? The moment it's a 200 plus score, then that game is not in their favor, right?
right,
If 200 is par, that's those games are not in their favor. So, for example, I think the very first game in Ahmedabad was a 210 beats. I think the one against Rajasthan Royals, where I think they missed out on the chase by about 5-7 runs. Rajasthan put up
okay,
210 odd, and GT got to 202, 203. So early in the season, the very first game GT played at home
okay,
against RR. So that was one game, and then the MI game where MI put up a 30 over par. So I think these wickets nowadays 170 is becoming par, and today I think GT got just about par, and their bowlers, make it difficult to get. So they needed an opening stand, and 2 years, 5 months of 2 years, 6 months too late, Siraj delivered the wicket of Travis Head in the first over.
2 years too late. Absolutely, we were talking about it last night, saying what's going to happen. But I think it's been a great performance, and we're now seeing the IPL is now seeing teams and what their underbelly is and where is their softer underbelly. But as we see that Pat Cummins has just hit a six, he's threatening to. Is he going to get back to that 50 or 15 balls that he scored? Did he score it against CSK? Does anyone
Yes,
remember that?
one was
MI.
against CSK when he was playing for KKR.
Emma, he
Okay,
smoked. He's the first guy to smoke Bumrah for sixes, two sixes.
Yeah.
and didn't make documentaries.
Yeah. Well, it
But I
wasn't a thing
mean,
back then.
yeah. But I mean, we
I
have
mean,
also like
scoring
kind of.
sixes against Bumrah wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Neither of the documentaries.
25, and the documentary seems to have opened the floodgate of sixes against Bumrah.
Not really. When it
I
first
think
released,
I think the documentary bit came out sometime in September when we played the Asia Cup. But I think
Yeah.
the sixth part I think came when Karun Nair and Josh
Josh
Inglis,
Inglis.
most famously in Ahmedabad, basically hit Bumrah out, and that kind of upset the apple cart at that point of time. But that said, 33 people in the stream, 67 for seven. That's the current. Welcome to.
67.
That's not how you say that, by the way, either.
You say 67.
we definitely weren't doing that off stream quite a lot.
Uh,
So, yeah, welcome to the 33 people who are joined us on the stream. If you are just joined us via Twitter, please, we also do this on YouTube and Instagram. So, do follow us at the Cow Corner Dugout. But going back to the game's narratives that we've seen, today when the game started, GT were 34 for 2 in the power play. And it kind of was it was their lowest score ever. At that point, what were your thought processes saying that, okay, is GT going to go for an under par total or will their middle order be tested? What were you thinking, Nirav?
I thought they needed to get to 180. Um, because so last three games, the pattern has been that the team chasing, which has been so GT has had the advantage of, I think they're chasing in four successive games at Ahmedabad, right? And they were all under par totals against RCB, against whoever else.
Right.
They were chasing 155, 160, and getting
one was
there.
against Punjab.
I would say yes. One was Punjab, one was RCB. I can't remember the other one or two. So that was the pattern which was emerging over the last few games at Ahmedabad, and you felt that if GT can get to above that, because no batting team who's batted second has needed to get to 170, right? So I thought if they could just
Right.
push it above par,
Right.
then that their bowlers can deliver, because today they went with an extra stronger pace bowling lineup. They brought in Prasid in place of Sai Kishore, and they also right now They bowled Rabada through. I think they bowled Siraj three. Um, Prasid and Holder have bowled two and three respectively. So they've got to about 12 overs with just four frontline bowlers as of now. And Arshad Khan and Rashid Khan are still to come into the mix.
Still to come.
So
Yeah.
It's a bit similar to how Shreyas Iyer handled his bowlers yesterday, where he finished the most important bowlers much early on, but they're two very different games, two very different results. Because yesterday, Punjab were found wanting because Ashdeep and Marco Jansen, their overs were done by the 15th, 16th. Chahal had not bowled, and as a result, Yash Thakur had to bowl the death overs, and that meant
then
that
Marcus Stoinis had to bowl two out of the
Marcus
last three.
Stoinis
I
got
mean,
hit.
the 20th over never got bowled, but it had to be Marcus Stoinis to take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is always the danger. I feel if you need to introduce that spinner at some point, and I think the opportunity is over number 7, 8, 9, and you have to throw that bowler in, then take your bowling strategic timeout, and then discuss how you want to tackle the spin. How do you want to handle the spinner? Right? You'll
right.
get some reinforced information on matchups coming up and whatever. So I think, I mean, GT seems to be sailing here. Everything is going right, but I feel that one over of Rashid Khan between overs number 7, 8, 9, they should have just thrown so that
But you
they're
think,
not at a pinch. I mean, it's worked out
right.
well right now.
So far, it's
But
worked
if
out well. But if Rashid comes in now, because there was a time when Rashid Khan was having his point of entry as the 12th, 14th, 16th, and 18th, right? He was trying to start there.
that was the time when he was not.
Hyderabad.
Yeah, so he doesn't need to bowl his 4 overs. Thing is,
Right.
there's Arshad also, and Washington Sundar also, so they could just bowl, bowl their fifth, sixth, and seventh bowlers to bowl 4 overs, right?
Right.
They have four
Maybe.
bowlers who will bowl out 16, and the remaining three bowlers can need to bowl one and a half each on average.
I think, yeah, if the four bowlers bowl 16, the game would be done and dusted by then because as we're speaking,
Hopefully.
it's 72 for 7. Jason Holder has got a wicket of a full toss, and you just don't even need to bowl any other. Like full tosses are getting you wickets.
72 for
72 for
8.
eight.
The 72 for 8
Eight,
now.
is it?
Four wickets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a. Yeah.
So,
Embarrassing.
yeah, the game
Shivan
might
has
be over
gone.
by 16th over.
Game might be over by the
16th.
16th over. But yes, I never
And if
expected
not, Arshad and Rashid bowl out the 17th to 20th.
bowl out.
You won't expect anybody. I mean, that's just in case they decide to do what my
After Jason Holder has come into the side, do you feel that? And the question to Trinay, do you feel Trinay that GT now don't need to hide their, or rather their middle order, which is otherwise not really working, is now kind of covered. They still haven't really been tested. Their middle order coming to finish a game or middle order trying to pull them out of the woods. When I say middle order, I'm talking about your 6, 7, 8 lower middle order that comes during a collapse. Today we saw Washi batting and he was still able to score a 50 batting at 4. But do you think Holder coming
5.
in?
He came in at 5 today.
5 today, but yeah, generally Holder. I think that's the position he bats in, right? So Holder coming in at 5 means that 6 and 7 and 8 haven't really
No,
been.
Washi came in at 5. Washi came in at 5 today. Nishant
So
came in
Holder
early.
would have.
Nishant came in at 4. Washi came in
Yeah,
at 5.
Nishant Sidhu came in at 4, Washi at 5, Jason Holder at
was at
6.
6.
Ah.
What you're
So
saying.
So we need to see when I mean that today was the test actually. I mean this is as 34 for 2 is as difficult as it's going to be because I
Right.
don't see another situation where all three of their top order gets out in the power play batting first.
No, see,
So having said
GT
that, I
being
think
34 for 2 and a team like Delhi being, I think it's equivalent to a team like Delhi being 33 for 3 or 4 in the power play just because of how over reliant they are on their top 3. And the fact that Washington and Nishant Sidhu to an extent were able to save it, take the score to nearly 170 was commendable. And I think that middle order did pass the test, especially since 170 seemed to be slightly above par on this wicket. So to answer your question, Karthik, I think they have
I mean
improved the
today
metal.
Holder couldn't really get going. I mean he was 11 of 10 is what the
11 of 10
scorecard says.
exactly.
So it's not like he got going. So a few comments on that. I think Nishant today got an opportunity early on. I mean, he came in the 5th over. I think he gave a good account of himself. It was unfortunate he got out so early. He looked good. So I think whatever said and done, he looks the part. He looks like a player who belongs at this level from the way he shapes up, the strokes he hit. There was a beautiful cover drive and there was a beautiful pull shot.
Yeah, I saw that.
For me,
His
those are the
first ball.
two. Yeah. So I think he looks the part. He looks like he belongs at this level. In fact, I remember having a chat with one of his Haryana teammates. Maybe it was two and a half, 3 years ago, who was so impressed with his rise in the previous preceding 2 3 years, and he said, if I definitely see him as an all format player for India over the next 2 to 3 years. So Nishant Sindhu is one of those. He looked at him as the Jadeja replacement, who's a top five
Right.
batter and a guy who will bowl. Who'll bowl at one end in the Test match as well as one days. I mean, at that time,
Right.
didn't look at him as a IPL superstar, but I think
Got it.
GTS had a good find. Washington Sundar is coming
Do
to
you
his
guys
own.
remember how much Nishant Sidhu went for in the auction?
Not
Nope.
too much. I would imagine not more than 30 40 lakhs. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think too
Because
many
he's a
people are going
Jadeja
for him.
replacement, and
I mean,
we have a
that's what his Haryana domestic teammate told me.
right.
So I think we can check his price.
They went for 30
While you check
lakhs.
that, went for
Yeah,
30 lakhs. Yeah, because I'm just
yeah.
looking at, damn, we got a Jadeja replacement at 14 crores. So that's why that hurt is there somewhere inside as a CSK
Yeah,
fan.
so
And he was
that's
at CSK.
Didn't
Oh,
didn't
Nishant
Delhi
Sindhu
buy
was at
Powell?
CSK?
Yeah, CSK, he was at
Nishant
CSK.
Sindhu
Yeah.
spent two seasons at CSK on the bench, 23
Ah, okay.
24.
Okay. So he's been there for the May 18th. He's also been there for the final in Ahmedabad in 2023.
Mm.
Interesting that
Yeah,
CSK didn't
Yes.
bid for
So
him.
coming back to their middle order, so Washi is delivered now, I think 3 games back to back. 2 games he finished it for them with a 20 odd and a 40 odd, and today he took it deep enough. Um, Holder has done his job. Uh, Twice, Rahul Tewatia now has come in as the finisher role. I think the last innings he got 14 of 4 balls. Today he got 4 of 1 balls. I mean, so the thing is GT's problem is not just poor middle orders. It's a very also DC problem. Is that all their batters don't hit fifth, sixth gear straight away, right? They all
Right.
need a little time to get going, right? And that's been GT's woes because all 7 of them need to come in early, right? Whether it's Rahul or Nisanka or Stubbs or Miller or
Nitish Rana, yeah.
Nitish Rana or Samir Rizvi or Karun Nair or whoever else. So which is why the influx of the Porel and the Ashutosh and Madhav yesterday mixed that up. So they don't have so many. Earlier they were playing half the season, more than half the season, with 7 players who were slow starters typically, right? So now uh, G- GT is getting through their problems one by one. I think they've identified their thing, and one by one they're getting each batter in form. Um, Holder will deliver a big batting innings very soon. He's been extremely competent as a bowler, both home and away, as the middle order tank, so to say. I don't think any other
He's in their
first change
best
bowler
four. He's in their best four
has
bowlers,
done.
right? He's in their best four
I don't think
bowlers.
I don't see another first change bowler who's done as well as him in the tournament.
Yeah,
I think if
yeah,
you were to
especially
pull
after.
stats on this year, middle overs, which bowler has done well, I think
Yeah.
Jason Holder will be there in the top 5 overs. When you look at it in terms of if you were to put an XY graph and see your strike rate and
Economy and strike rate and
Yeah.
economy and strike rate, if you were to have like a zone, he'd be in that zone in terms of your top
over
bowlers.
7 to 15 or 16, whichever you take.
Yeah, I know. Cricinfo has now changed the whole thing to overs 7 to 16 as middle overs. Earlier it used to be 7 to 15. I don't know when that change happened. So
When Star Sports
as
at
we
the
see,
beginning of the tournament tried to do it in 4, right? There was I've forgotten, they got rid of it
I know,
because
I
I
know.
think they got some. What was it? There was
The
one was of course power
consolidators, the aggressors, and some.
consolidating and aggressive and
The
some.
launch. Oh yeah, the launch phase,
The
consolidation, and
launch
then
phase, like the T20 World
finish.
Cup was the launch.
Yeah, yeah.
Launch phase, consolidate,
See, all
adapt.
these younger kids, they're able to learn things faster. They're able to say,
Yeah.
as soon as the teacher you
We
say
don't.
something, they're like, ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. That's how they're
No,
answering.
no,
Yeah.
no, no.
I mean, Star Sports has forgotten it already. Also, they
Yes.
they discarded it pretty
Yeah,
pretty
that was
quickly.
so stupid. You'd have every single analyst on Twitter or YouTube or anything
Oh, was it only
scrolling
for the
them.
World Cup though?
Yeah, it was
Maybe it
only
was
for
an
the World
ICC
Cup.
thing.
Yeah.
Maybe it was an ICC thing.
I mean, they
It,
also
it
had
was
that
really stupid
rating
as well.
system as well in the World Cup. Where they were like,
Yeah,
this batter has this much power, and it was just like completely off the whack.
Shivam
Yeah.
Dubey was
But
a better bowler
as we
than.
talk about this, the net run rate is margins are coming down for Sunrisers because Captain Pat Cummins is now hitting.
Is
He's hit a
striking it.
couple of sixes. Yeah.
1 6 and 1 4. Yeah.
There was a very interesting thing in Australia where they get the crowd behind them. So when I was at Melbourne, I heard the announcer, not just in Melbourne, even in Sydney, the announcer would go, and it's your captain, Pat Cummins. And that's how they'd say. It had a ring to it where they said your captain. And India, all we have is MJ Rakesh. Sometimes the amount of cacophony and noise that you get as an announcer, nothing to do with RCB fans, but I've seen MJ Rakesh even in India games, and I can't tolerate that guy, man. The guy is so cringe, uh, especially with whatever the player names he does. So yeah, but yeah,
Whatever
I
he
think
does, I'm sure he can't be the CSK DJ. That guy takes it to insanely low levels.
CSK
Yeah,
CSK DJ is also bad. That's that guy.
Of
I thought he was only into music, right? Does he
the
also talk?
CSK
he
DJ
tries
is like
announcing.
extremely mid. He does like the most basic like bare bones. He's like when the bowler comes in, be like oh like that's the only like I think new thing that I
I
have
think that is
He
their
has a
job.
script.
I think he has a script. That is their job. The thing is, what is the level of cringe that you hear from an announcer? And I think that is probably what gets my goat. And as we speak, the nine down. Captain Cummins is gone. It's 87 of 39. I'm sorry, this equation is not relevant anymore. We're only talking about margin of victory. That's probably the
No,
only
so
thing we're going
now
to be
we
talking
should. I mean, we don't have the official. What's it called? The run rate,
table
the table.
net.
So GT obviously takes the first spot, but it's also. I think this will be a very big boost for their net run rate. Who would have thought
Huge.
GT would make it to the number one spotter after 12 games?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I
we
like
were
the way
bashing them
GT.
after the first three.
Right. Because GT and
GT and
CSK were
SRH. GT and
both
SRH. Yeah?
the
I think
lower.
they both
Yeah,
after 4 games had won one.
yeah, they were
So,
really bad after the first four, including CSK. You cannot
but
CSK.
Yeah.
GT's problems were like one is that
No, they had two main
they
problems.
choked a
One,
couple of chases. They
no,
choked a
one
couple
their
of
middle
chases.
order, they had a non-existent middle order, which, as you said, they're in the process of fixing. Two, all their best bowlers, none of them were in form. Rabada was going for runs. Siraj was going for runs. Rashid looked completely lost. Holder wasn't in the side yet, so you didn't
Was
have
it
that.
away games? Their first 3-4 games, was it a lot of away
No,
games,
I
which is
think
why they were
there
out
was
of
one
form?
home game. There was one. The Rajasthan game was a home game, which they completely bottled because it was one of those 50 or 4 overs which they fell short of. Or 45 or 4 overs. So it was in their grasp. I'll pull up the match if you want.
As you pull it up, a question for our viewers. Why don't you predict the margin of victory? They are right now 82 for
Oh,
9.
come on.
I'm going to say,
So that's
yeah, I
84.
mean,
50%
it'll be
I'm
a
saying
PKR batting.
contest to see who gets
I'm
this right.
thinking 80
I think
plus.
they'll be 90 all out, and
I
margin of
don't
victory
think
will be
Unbelievable.
78 runs.
no. I'm thinking 85 under 85 they'll get out
Okay, you're saying under
because
85.
these are proper rabbits.
Proper
Ishan
rabbits.
Malinga is like so happy to be chosen ahead of Praful Hinge and Sakib to be their number 11. Like he's like Sakib
He
can
was smiling.
strike the ball if it's in his arc, but that's about it.
Looking at Pat Cummins, I can see that he's going to come in the post-match interview and say, "That's okay, man. We got all out for 80, 90. For us, we go hard. We go hard. That's how we play." I'm sure he's
And
going to
that's all
come and
right.
say that. Uh,
Yeah.
So because I don't think they're in that worry of a net run rate or us, costing their spot. I think the amount of improvement GT and SRH have shown, that's exactly the amount of deceleration that we're now starting to see with with a team like RR or with a team like Delhi Capitals were on the rise, and then now we're seeing it with Punjab. Punjab is like suddenly I'm seeing news a buzz that I don't know if it's the vultures. Sometimes there are these journalists who are like vultures who just prey on some story and then bring it out. They were saying Prab Simran has increased 10 kgs. Punjab guys play video games at night, so they don't show up in the morning for practice. And they've been missing flights, apparently. That's what was said by one of the journalists from Rev Sports. So, and as we speak, Rashid Khan comes in and it's hit just above covers. Harmanpreet would have got that at DY Patil, but this fielder, which is Washington Sundar, hasn't got it. It's very similar to that catch that Harman took to end the World Cup. I was there at DY Patil for 95% of that game, and I missed that part because I had a flight to catch. The game started late, so yeah, here we are, and as we
So
speak,
in the match against their first home game, they lost their first away game to Punjab, putting up 162, and Punjab chased it down quite easily at Mulanpur. Their second game was a home game where they were chasing 210, and after 15 overs they were 160, 161.
ah,
So I mean they had lost wickets. That was the seventh wicket, but then yeah, they'd reached that point by a proper choke between the 13th and 15th over.
Right.
They were one they were 130 at the start of the 12 at 12 overs.
Got it.
So they literally needed 80 of 8 overs, and then they bottled it from there due to the middle
Right.
order. So they lost
Which I think
wickets.
I think
So
now
that's
they've kind of moved on, right? Like they've
that.
got
Yeah, I
Nishant
think that
Sidhu to come early, and they've said, okay, Shahrukh, I don't need you at number six, number seven anymore. So that transition has probably happened in the last couple of weeks or so. Or how
yeah.
long is it since Shahrukh's played a game?
I
Pretty
think this would
long.
be the
Two, three
fourth
games.
match. He would fourth match. I think the one at Bangalore was the first game in which Tewatia and Shahrukh. Remember we discussed this. This is the first match
Yeah,
Tewatia
first
has
game
missed.
that
But
Tewatia
as
has
it
missed
turned
and
out,
GT's
as
has
it
played.
turned out,
And gone.
he didn't.
86. So Nirav, you
He
lost. Okay.
didn't. Yeah, I
So
said 85. Okay,
yeah,
86.
but you said 85 and
86,
lower. So
86 is closer than 90.
yeah, I never said I won, but I just said you lost. Okay.
I'm still on 14.4, so
Yeah, I'm waiting for Trinidad. Yeah,
It
saying,
is
oh,
14.4. Oh, 14.5 is the ball wicket. Yeah,
suddenly
so
I'm seeing a
margin
lot
of
of
victory.
smoke in the ground. I don't know. Oh, it's basically
The
smoke.
fireworks.
Why are Gujarat celebrating fireworks for a league game to win? Or
They
is it
have, I
leftover
think they have
fireworks?
had fireworks even for sixes. I think they have fireworks
no,
even
no.
for the sixes and
That
boundaries.
that is there
This
in
match
any
is
ground.
this match is
In fact, in the
the cancer donation, something related to cancer,
okay,
like the
right,
jersey.
right,
So it
right,
could
with
be
the
that.
No,
pink
no, but
jersey.
these fireworks and all go off every time. Yeah?
Yeah,
I think
fireworks are there like every match. It's
at the
like
end of
how
every.
CSK have the smoke cannons, right? When you go off for every
Yeah.
boundary. It's
Actually,
just
these
like
Those are
smoke cannons
tiny.
are very, very hot if you're close to the smoke cannon. It feels like somebody is farting. It's like a digital fart where you just come and it's so hot. No, man, I remember I saw this in the BBL. I had gone to one of the games, I think between Perth Scorchers and something in Melbourne. And it was very, very hot because there you're right next to it's called the Dockland Stadium, where I think Australia and South Africa played a ODI series in 2000. And there you're very close to the action. And the fire was like so hot from there.
Okay, just to
But yes,
SRH's sorry to interrupt, but SRH's run rate is 0.33. GT, who have climbed
what
to the top of the table, their net run rate is 0.55. A graphic just
considerable
came up on my
0.22.
side.
Yeah,
Oh, on
and
TV.
so
Okay, okay.
yeah,
I
it was
thought you had the
0.22,
number.
and then it's 0.22. It's gone up to 0.6.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah,
I'm
80
I'm
run
waiting for the
victory rate.
I'm waiting for the IPL website to update it, and then I'll share it.
No, I think the Cricinfo website, I mean, Cricinfo has this
I'm not
updated the
trusting
IPL
cricket.
points. It's
Yeah,
not trusting
Cricket
Not
will
cricket.
trusting.
probably have it updated by now, maybe.
As
Rely
much as
on
we
IPLT20.com.
as much as we discussed what Gujarat have improved from the start of the season to come to the first to finish first, or they're at first right now. What do you think SRH has done better from the start till now? Because it just seemed like they got in a couple of wonder kids who ran through RR and then
That was just
rode
one
off the
Yeah,
pace.
game.
so
I think
okay. Having
Ishan.
said okay, Karrik, you go first. I have a
Okay.
thought on this. I think that actually the bowlers did very well today.
Yeah.
No, no, SRH has been doing extremely well in that whole victory phase that they had. I think they had a streak of about 5 6 games, and now they've lost. I think 2 games that they've lost now in their last
Yeah.
Yeah,
5. But they did have like a big streak where I think they won versus MI, versus RR, versus DC, versus CSK, and I think versus RR again. So that was their streak of 5, and now they've lost 3 of their last 5 games. A large part of it was because they had somebody like Ishan Malinga and their top three used to fire. So their top three, even though, and again, Klassen
top
at the end,
four,
sometimes top four, right?
top four.
Because Klassen used to always get the runs. He's got a 500 run season almost, right?
He's orange
And
cap holder as of now.
orange cap holder. So Klassen is even in some games where he was not batting at a 160, 170 strike rate. He didn't batting at 120, 130, but he was getting the runs. So I think they're in their top four, just like the way Gujarat play, they always have one person putting their hand up saying, if there is a trouble, I'm there. Today is probably that one game where they just were ambushed, losing by 82 runs today. But I think that's one of their hallmarks for success, along with Ishan Malinga. And whenever you have some of your other bowlers, firing, which is to see your Sakib or to see your Praful Hinge, they haven't been on fire. Like today, Praful Hinge got those 2 power play wickets. But I think it's largely been led by Ishan Malinga. That's one thing that I could observe. But yeah, over to you, Nirav.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, of course, Malinga has been their standout. The first 3 to 4 games, they were a very weak bowling side because there was a lot of sameness. There was Nitish Reddy taking the new ball, and he has come leaps and bounds as well because he was hitting 132, 133 then. Today I'm seeing he's hitting 138, 140 fairly regularly. So over the course of the season, he has upped his pace because he's getting confident with his lines and lengths,
Right.
right? So he has come a long way. Um, they have looked at, so obviously Sakib and Praful came in together, but subsequently they've given two matches, rest one, 2 matches, rest one. So they've kind of taken that route by depending on the match. I mean, benching, not benching, but like leaving one out, bringing in a spinner in some cases. In one case, they brought in Harshal Patel on instead of Praful. So they've rotated those bowlers fairly well. I think Pat Cummins coming in after 7 games ups their bowling and gives them a fairly good number 8 batter. So I think, so and I think today they had bowling plans very, very, they actually bowled as well as GT. It's just that GT knows that you have to dig in, right? And I think the Sunrisers approach is not to dig in. So if Abhishek and Travis
Right.
Head and Ishant were told dig in and take it through the power play without a loss or maximum lose 1 wicket, let's get to 10 overs for 60 odd, we will get 100 in the last 10. I think
Right.
that is not a game plan which their batters ever follow. They just keep going
Right.
hard. Abhishek hit a six of the first ball. He got length, he got for it, right? But then you have to also say that you're facing guys who are fairly smart. Rabada is arguably one of the top 3 bowlers in the world across formats. Very good test match bowler, former Purple Cap winner, if I'm not wrong, in 2019 or
Fastest
21,
200 IPL
right?
wickets.
So he knows his shit. He knows, and he's been bowling now back to back 3 matches on this ground, knows exactly where to pitch it. He went wrong the first ball, never again, right? He did not give the full length. And they all hit that spot like ball after ball after ball after ball. And they're getting little bit of lateral movement, and that's that's all they needed. Yeah. So as I said, if the curator stays their friend, which has been troublesome in the past because GCA and GT are not don't always. I mean, at least when I was around, didn't
Possible.
always see eye to eye, right? And that happens with every team. I think. I mean, Delhi Capitals doesn't see eye to eye with Delhi, cricket,
EDC.
whatever it's called, EDCA. Sunrisers doesn't see eye to eye with Hyderabad Cricket Association. So
यार ये कैसे है? Now I thought ये standardized हो गया ना, because Stephen Fleming last year was crying that कि pitches, I don't know what pitches are going to come up. That was what Stephen Fleming
well,
said last.
legally, the curators are not supposed to report to the franchise team. I mean,
Legally, that's the keyword.
that's the thing, right? So now it happens. I mean, um, so maybe there has been a change in this with. So maybe the curator wants to see some good cricket as well, no?
So what
He
you're saying
does,
is
but
the
I think
curator is independent of everybody else,
Curators
according to.
is an independent authority briefed by, I
BCCI.
mean, reporting to BCCI through his state association, employed by, in this case, by the Gujarat Cricket Association, reporting to BCCI.
So he has,
Oh, that feels.
they have full autonomy on what pitch to lay out or pitch conditions and all of that, or do they have
Yes.
some standard?
No,
Then
they have 6 or 7 pitches to play with
Mhm.
across the thing, and then they choose which pitch, which. So there are, I think, there are five red soils and 2 black soils, if I'm not wrong, or maybe the other way around. So and one mixed soil. So there's 4, 2, and one. One is a mixed soil. So it's up to him to which pitch to curate on which match day, and typically.
Yeah.
Still, what's stopping okay, the franchise rents out the stadium, right? What's stopping some
They rent out the
The
stadium.
franchise doesn't rent out, like the stadium is still belonging to the cricket association, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
rent out as in they play
effectively
their
rented out.
games there, and yeah, but they don't own the stadiums outright. But what's again stopping a very legacy franchise from getting in contact with the
I mean,
curator?
I think that's the whole objective of having home games. But somewhere, I think maybe, not everybody's getting, because MI is definitely not getting the home games advantage they want.
But what
Um,
advantage would somebody like MI want from that pitch? Is it small boundaries, very batting friendly? Wouldn't most teams want that?
so MI would want this Ahmedabad kind of a wicket, because at 160, 170 they become competitive,
Right,
right? They
right,
Yeah, but
don't
right.
have,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But I see this now very interesting part. Now SRH have played 12 games and they're on 12 points. They have two more games. Now, is it correct? Yeah, SRH have played 12 games. They're on 14. Their next two games are against their southern brethren, where they're playing against CSK on the 18th of May. I hope 18th of May gives us better memories. As a CSK fan, 18th of May is when a lot of things changed. 18th of May 2024, we lost that game to RCB. That was heartbreak because we were out of the competition at that point of time. But yes, that was an amazing, amazing comeback by RCB in that tournament to be, with one win in 8 games and to come back. It was tough of dreams. But if let's say SRH lose to CSK and if SRH lose to RCB, then they're potentially lining up for getting out of the playoff race. So there's a possibility that could happen because there are sides that suddenly lose their bearings, and SRH have lost 3 of their last 5 games. Do you guys see that happening?
I'd
Mm,
peg Punjab to I'd peg Punjab to l- lose that race more than SRH have, because SRH is a team that was down in the dumps and had to find their way. So I think they're more mentally prepared and they might have one or two more backup plans in their mind to overcome something else and get that one extra win they need to qualify. And I'm not saying Punjab isn't equipped to do that, but if you had to make me choose between one of the two, I think SRH probably. Plus, I still think they're gonna beat CSK on Friday or whenever the game is.
They're
That's there
playing this
too,
in
and
Hyderabad or they're playing at Chepauk?
they're playing at
uh,
Chepauk. The Hyderabad match we
yeah,
bottled, I remember.
yeah, we bottle, yeah,
We bottled, yes, that Saturday night. I remember. I remember.
yeah. And if
That
the
was
pitch and if we roll out a similar pitch that we did to Lucknow, Head and Abhishek are gonna go absolutely nuts because it was the red soil wicket. I'm fairly confident, and everything was bouncing good and it was raining
Which is
sixes.
fair. Which is fair
It
because
was
on those kind of tracks, because Lucknow did not, have the right team to play the middle overs, which is not the case with an SRH team. It would require
exactly.
something really special to make SRH bottle. Like for
Hmm.
example, at least with a team like RCB, RCB can outbat SRH, but CSK with its level of
Not a hope.
talent that is there, their batting maybe can match them, but they can't outbat them. At least right now on paper, and even with bowling, right? While CSK seem like this military medium attack, they're suddenly starting to look good. I think while we won against some of the weaker sides, this is our test as CSK to see if we have it enough to at the moment of pressure, are you able to make bigger sides seem smaller, and are they making them commit mistakes or underperforming? Because that was at the height of Dhoni's strategy. Dhoni was a very defensive captain. He wasn't somebody who would attack. He would just play defense and wait for others to make mistakes, and people would make mistakes. So, but again, the IPL has changed. It's now rewarding teams that attack. I'm curious to see how SRH and CSK play out that
And
game. That's on 18th
this
of
current.
May.
Mhm. Go on.
Well, that's on 18th of May. As I said, and then Nirav, you were out at that point. It has a very significant connotation for a CSK fan because that's when CSK lost to RCB in the 2024 finals race. But that's still some time away, which is the 12th of May today.
This
And
this CSK team is still really defensive, right? Because every time they seem to have their nose ahead in a chase, if they have a good power play and they think they're gonna chase a total down, they'll send out Karthik Sharma and him and Rutraj, who that's been the usual pairing, to just knock out the chase, which is pretty defensive. We scrutinize them for this last game, and that is a defensive option, right? Send out the guy who bats at 100, 120 strike rate and try and knock off the chase. And as you said, teams that have gone aggressive have been rewarded. We went defensive last
right.
game and we almost lost it because of that, because we went too slow in the middle and our aggressive guys got stuck at the end.
Yeah, but it's been aggression. Aggression has been rewarded in March and April. I don't think it's been rewarded so much in May.
Urvil Patel? No, but I'm talking about that particular pitch and the pitches that we've
Right.
played, right? If so, and you say that Urvil has like two shots, and if he was able to score that much, why don't you think the Indian finisher, aka Shivam Dubey or international pedigree Deval Bravis could have done something similar? What was the need to send out a anchor style guy? They're still a very defensive team. So what I'm saying is I don't know how that's going to pan out against SRH, especially if they roll out the red soil wicket on that day.
I feel like Karthik has said in earlier streams, CSK are a sort of team that want to get those 2 points more than the net run rate, right? So once the chase gets to a point where they can sort of rotate strike and then maybe get a few boundaries here and there and like sort of finish it off with the boundaries, I feel like that's what they are trying to do. That's what they did against MI, that's what they did against DC,
No,
and
I
that's
think
what they
they're
try to
very
do.
very safe as a side, saying net run rateலாம் இருக்கட்டும் எங்க தலைவனுக்கு தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு. So
Yeah, man.
I can't get that dialogue out of my head, man. Him, Kasi Mama eating mixture, on an auction table saying, "இந்த தலைவனுக்கு தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு என்ன வேணும்னு." So,
Oh God.
so,
Yeah, but
so
I feel like that's the tactic that has been right. Just get the chase to a point where you can just strike, rotate, and win. But unfortunately, that tactic did not really work out. But because once Rutraj got out, the chase really slowed down and it required some late hitting by Prashant and a really stupid decision by from
Lucknow.
LSG's part.
But I think sometimes when you have these anchor players in the middle overs, right, that's exactly why we had Jadeja. So Jadeja and Dhoni were your anchor players at the death, which you never asked for. But I think in this case, Karthik Sharma is a talent that CSK has backed. Hasn't performed really well so far. But if you remember the RCB of
340 plus
2020,
innings. It's
Yeah, but a strike rate of 120.
that's my larger concern. But I think he has a higher ceiling. It's just that 3 games would have given him enough confidence out there in the middle. I'm thinking a team like CSK, which is slightly underwhelming, might find its upper gear because they're on an ascent. Because one game, one loss here and there could actually put CSK's qualification chances at jeopardy. But probably they weren't even thinking qualification, when the first 3 games happened. CSK is very happy to get where they are. But that said,
CSK's
Andy's
game is
coming
still
in,
3 days away. I think let's talk about the game which
Yeah.
happened today.
which is tomorrow.
First
Okay, all right.
game without catches. First game without any catch dropped.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough
Oh
comment?
wow! I mean,
Yeah,
we are
that's
watching
good.
two teams.
I don't remember a catch being dropped.
I mean,
Yeah, neither do I.
we are watching two teams that I can probably actually field, and we were watching Punjab yesterday. So
Yeah, I mean, Shubman leads by example for GT, and so does Cummins for SRH. And overall, they seem to be pretty tight fielding units, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Karthik Karan is shit only on days when I post something against the RCB fans. That's it. That's the days I get all these big bats on social media. But for now, we're speaking about Karthik Sharma, who's been batting, has got a couple of good knocks inside, but I think he's batting at 120 strike rate. We don't feel
You
as
guys are
CSK
just not
fans that-
happy, no? With a guy who's scoring 50 also, you're not happy. क्या चाहते हो?
हाँ यार हम तो यार हम देखते हैं ये गुजरात टाइटंस को देखो या पंजाब को देखो
वो भी चाह रहे थे कि उनका नंबर 450 बनाए. आपका बंदा हर मैच में बना रहा है फिर भी आप खुश नहीं हो.
But yes,
सही बोला ना मैंने
Andy's
डोरियन.
talking about-
डोरियन तुम
I mean-
बोलो. कैसा ही
I
बोला
mean-
कि नहीं बोला मैंने?
हमको क्या चाहिए? हमको एक लड़का चाहिए जो 20 बॉल में 50 मार सकता है.
एक है वो
ஏய்,
potential.
அழகர போ டோரியன் தமிழ் ஆளா இருந்து ஹிந்திலாம் பேசுற பனௌத்தி கா
நான்
ராஜா
படிச்ச school,
டேய் பாடுறா
Now, what is the school? Pranay, you also know this. How many North Indians are there in our school? You have to learn Hindi to survive.
true.
அதான் இந்தியில சேட்ஜின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க வந்து
அதுக்கு மேல,
Great
அதுக்கு
G பாட போறேன்.
Great G, yeah, that was a very famous song called Great G. I think that was disguised. It was Sage G only, but they then changed it to Great G. I thought the lyrics were amazing in that song. With this is I think the guy movie's name was Misaya Murka.
We say
Yeah.
hip hop tamila.
Hip Hop Thabara. That was the guy. But yes, Karthik, don't impose Hindi on us, bro. Says Andy. No pa. ये गांव में ये किसान रघुता था. I'm not that guy, but
Karthik is
but
Tamil,
now yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Karthik Kannan or Diddy. What is he saying? What is that? What is that, man? I don't
Oh
understand.
God.
I think
Karthik,
it's an under 19 joke.
Yeah, looks
No,
like that.
just search of Diddy. You will know.
No, don't. You don't want that on your search history.
Swing, seam, line and length bowlers. I wish they bowl line and length, man.
Oh, okay.
They
Some
kind of
some
space.
rapper, is it? Okay.
No, Didi, I know who Didi is, but what is the context of Karthik or Didi?
I
I didn't
think
get
there's
that.
feeling that my beard and
The
the
look.
most starting look. Nandu, do I look like Didi?
I
Am I
I
asking?
I don't agree.
People on the screen are saying I look like Didi. My son listens to all this rap and all that, so I asked him. He also started laughing in that
Oh
video. I don't know what
god,
there
you're
is.
probably you
I
are
don't know, man.
probably
This seems to
weirded
be an under
out.
19 joke. I don't know what is, no, what is Didi. Why are you laughing? Ask your son about El Clasico is what they say. Okay, my son's gone.
No.
Yeah, he was up all night watching the El Clasico.
Uh,
Okay, so
so
let's get
Okay,
back to the
so
cricket.
I don't agree with this
Didi.
comment, or not about this, the
The
earlier one.
other one.
I actually think Overton has got genuine wheels. He's very quick. He's deceptively quick, and there
don't
is
you
a
girls
fair
go
good
35,
mix.
140?
Yeah, and so is Mukesh Chaudhary.
Yeah,
I feel the left arm fast bowler, right arm swing bowler in Anshul, one left arm leggy, one left arm um, slow left arm half tracker bowler in Prashant Veer. They've got a fair
the long
mix.
top guy.
Akil Hussain, left arming swing bowler. So I think they're both CSK's bowling has come together fairly well. I think it took time to figure out who's the best five or six, and I think the moment the Khalil Ahmed was ruled out, I think they started to fix because till then Khalil was a fixture, and I think he
Yeah,
was the problem in the power play personally.
yeah, and people who took over from him were really good as well, right? Akil, Kamboj, and then first change was usually Overton or yeah, Overton or whoever else was there. Um,
That's Didi
Okay, so
for
this
you,
is
Karthik.
Didi. So Manjunath is saying
Good.
Didi is known for his non-rap exploits. What
yeah,
are
yeah,
his exploits, right?
that's one way to
Oh,
put
That's
it.
that's
one
okay.
way. That's a very PG way, safe for work way to put it.
Well said, Manjunath.
Very good.
Okay, I will go look up what Didi's done in his body of work and
Yeah.
see if I'm able to do that, and come on the show and say I did what Didi did. I'm hoping it's.
God. Oh, Karthik. Do not make this
Neerav, I hope
spicy.
you're familiar with Diddy.
Yeah.
யாருப்பா அவன் டிடி எல்லாரும் சொல்றீங்க என்னமோ
Karthik's face care routine is also similar. No, he also uses baby
Yeah,
oil.
look at the beard.
This is the funniest. This is,
Man, the only Didi I've heard is what Aditya is saying, laughing my
This
ass
this
out.
must be the only podcast which will have conversations and then end up putting Didi on screen to show that he looks like
We're gonna
what
get
doesn't- what doesn't-
demonetized. Oh, shit.
we are going to demonetize together.
But yes,
That's
guys,
future,
moving
Okay,
on from
yeah,
moving
on
on from
tomorrow's
not
game.
for safe conversation. Tomorrow's match, RCB versus KKR. KKR is on an upswing. There's somebody who's saying that there's a 10% chance of KKR coming in.
They lost at the home new
Tweet
home
like
ground,
it's
no?
tweet like
Or
it's
rather, they
2021,
deserve to lose in that.
and yeah, they're playing against RCB, a team that so far has looked that the only time if you're playing against RCB on a track that where are they playing? Raipur again?
Raipur, yeah.
Raipur looked like one of those neutral tracks which has help for bowlers, and that's the first time I saw, apart from a slower track, on the April 18th, the day CSK lost to SRH, same day RCB had lost to DC in Chinnaswamy. And that day, I think they lost because the wicket was playing slow and they just weren't able to match up with that pace. So, if you're surprising RCB with high quality bowling, that's probably a way to get through them. Today, now, I think with 14 games, you get enough insight into what can trouble a particular side, what are their Achilles' heel. But if you were to dig up an Achilles' heel for KKR, of course, they've had a very bad campaign and suddenly they've won now 4 games on the trot. What would you think is required to stop KKR?
Get Finn Allen out. Make sure Rahane and Raghuvanshi bat for as long as they can during the middle overs. Because
Yeah,
Green
that
will
is-
eviscerate you, Powell will eviscerate you, Rinku will kick the shit out of you. So make sure
No, I
Rahane and
think
Raghuvanshi are there for as long as possible.
I would say that on these kind of wickets, I mean, if with Bhuvi
Rahani,
and
huh?
off bowling, I would say throw in a Duffy and you nailed it. You This team will not survive. Like Finn
Throwing Duffy
Allen,
as would you
Green.
rest Hazelwood or
No, I'd say put Bhuvi and put Duffy as the third bowler. You need
so
a
who goes out for
five prob.
Duffy to come in? Romario?
I definitely. I mean, either him or Suyash. Suyash has done sweet jack shit.
Yeah,
I mean, but then yeah, you have a problem of overseas players. So I guess the
overseas.
only option is Romario. Yeah, bringing up their 11 or 12 which they played in the last game.
Didn't
So
Patidar
they
or the coach come out and say that we're happy with what he did with the ball
yeah
and
he
we'll
did. I
continue to
mean,
back him or something
No,
like
I
that?
think they're being supportive because they realize that Romario Shepherd had great form in 2025. So while he has been on and off, he looks like Dubé or he looks like Stoinis coming in bowling with military medium pace, easy to hit. That's your
no,
general fear.
Stoinis
But I
can
think
crank it up. Huh? Stoinis gets to
uh,
140 when he wants to.
Oh yeah, he used
Romario
to.
can't. No, he still did. Yesterday he pushed one at 140.
Seriously,
but
still?
I
Romario
think
can't.
as
He's at a 132, 133 kind of a.
But I think one important thing is high quality middle overs bowling is where now KKR are starting to fire and are on tracks that are supportive to bowlers. Tomorrow you have Sunil Nareen. Tomorrow you have Varun Chakravarti, but who's also I'm not sure about his fitness, but 10 wickets in his last 5 games. And if both of them are going to be there, that's straight away 20 dot balls that you're getting, and you're converting it to a 100-ball game. So I think that's a huge advantage that KKR have. But if KKR are getting to be on the right side of the toss, do you think RCB will be stretched? Because they're otherwise a very fine side.
Would that 20 dot ball advantage with the two spinners translate as well to RCB as it has with the other sides because of Patidar and Kohli and
I'm
that
saying
middle
that's the
order?
thing, right? I know it's the ultimate test because RCB's middle order is the stuff of dreams. You have somebody like Rajat Patidar, and you have somebody like Tim David. You have Krunal Pandya, and if Venkatesh Iyer is going to be put in there, I don't think right now they are thinking of Venkatesh Iyer, but that's quite a strong middle order because your top order is in its own zone. Jacob Bethel, Virat Kohli, and DDP. So when you have that strong a middle overs thing, I'm just curious to see what lines Nareen will bowl, or will they again try to attack? And the only weak link here is Jitesh Sharma, who was I think he hit a six the other day to come out of form, but I
Six
think he's
in the
still
order.
struggling with his form.
Jitesh and Romario are still looking really shifty with the bat, right? I mean, us and many experts on Twitter and whatever else proposed remove both of them, bring in Cox and Venki to strengthen the lower order, but they're clearly backing these two with good reason. They are really good players.
See, we don't know some of the choices that RCB as a team makes. Right? They've been very, very insistent to have Romario, and I think the choice that Neerav had to say that, yeah, bring Jacob Duffy on this kind of a wicket. Anyway, your power play you're doing well. You have Bobby, you have Josh Hazelwood. You have one more option. Now the question is, Jacob Duffy, can he use up a couple of his overs in the middle overs, and then you have Rasik Salam or Bobby or Hazelwood to bowl an over at the death. So I think
Bhuvi and
RCB
Hazelwood,
would.
Bhuvi and Hazelwood are very capable death bowlers, so I wouldn't worry about that. You can very comfortably bowl two up front of Duffy, three if he's doing well without much harm because Hazelwood and Bhuvi can both bowl in the middle that death phase, so I wouldn't worry about that. Bhuvi and Hazelwood are the death in the form they're in, but mostly Bhuvi.
Okay, so firstly, Phil Salt I saw in their post-match RCB match. He's around. Correct me if I'm
He's
wrong.
around. Okay.
He's around. I don't know whether he's recovered or not. He had gone to England basically to get scans or whatever. He's
Yeah,
back. Whether he's recovered, I don't know. Whether he's fit, I don't know. But I definitely saw him in a clip or
Okay.
like as part of a video RCB only had put out, I think.
Got it.
So Phil Salt
One
is in
of
India. Phil Salt is in Raipur already on that match day. He was there
Got it.
at the
So I
hotel.
think if
He was
Phil
there.
Salt is there, it's like he
if
is like
Salt
So
is
that
back
is
and if
what
he's in
and
form, then the top four is
he
looking.
Yeah, the
he
top
comes
four
in
will
straight
be
away.
deadly.
Yeah,
Yeah. But,
but
so
still the
Manjunath says Ross Salt is available. Cricinfo's article says that he's unavailable, but I think we'll get that closer to this thing. One of our friends of our podcast is in Raipur. Shashank's there, I think, covering the game. And
Friend of the show.
yeah,
I so okay. So on that on the last in the last game, who um, what kind of a pitch is it? Right? Is it a spin friendly pitch?
right. I think we are
Seemingly, right?
talking basis the
Raipur.
track that was offered last time.
Yeah,
We don't
I'm
know the
saying
track
that's the
that's going to be
only
offered tomorrow.
correct.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying you have to assume all things being equal. I agree. Duffy for Shepherd comes in, strengthen your bowling because you have to play the GT formula tomorrow if it's going to be that 160 180 game.
But what happens if they're 20 for
Which
3
is a
in the power play?
I mean
I'm talking about RCB.
then also they do the same thing, no? What Krunal and did, right? Take it deep.
But you still have Jitesh out of form. You're going in with 7 batsmen. And if one is
Jitesh
very
is
clear out of form, then
Jitesh is not going anywhere. Jitesh is not going anywhere, right? The only question mark has been against
Romario.
Romario. But having said that, he got wickets that day or whatever. He bowled one
He
for
did.
18 in
He
three
got a
overs.
wicket. He was going at 6 runs per over.
Yeah. So I don't know. For me, the weak link in their bowling currently is Suyash because he has no idea where he's pitching the ball.
But who would you, if you were to kick out Suyash, who would you bring in? Who's not Duffy? Because Duffy, if you bring in Duffy, that screws up your whole
That's the
combination
problem.
because it messes up the
I mean,
foreigner
I don't
bowlers.
know. Do they have another Indian decent bowler?
Abhinandan, Mangesh Yadav, I don't think they have too many besides
I
that.
think they would like to go. I would prefer to see them, doing a quick bowler. Do they have anybody else in the bench?
Quick,
Abhinandan,
with pace, then probably
Yeah,
Abhinandan maybe.
yeah.
is he good enough? Like I don't know. Is he?
He started before Rasik Salam got his go. So clearly they have some faith in him. And he's clearly quality because um,
He has had 3 wickets. He was his economy rate was over 12.6 in the 3 games that he has played this season.
Yeah. So there you go.
uh,
Average 40. I mean, not. But then again, if he's got some variations and he comes back at this point, then it could work out, right? I don't
they
know.
have
I don't know
Kanish
if they
Chauhan.
trust Swapnil Singh. I mean, he's a good lucky factor, but
They have Kanish Chauhan who's a spinner, right? Vihan Malhotra, another
who are these
spinner.
guys?
Yeah, but
I
they
don't
are
know.
more
I
so
mean,
all rounders.
Squad players.
yeah, but like,
No, but these are the bowling options they have left. Mangesh Yadav, obviously, he was the favorite to replace, or supposed to be their fifth bowler at the start.
yeah. I mean, I think worthwhile giving him a go. You think? But then the first top two spots are still you know, are still like highly risky, right? If you look at the points table, they are not secure of the top two spot. They need to win two out of the remaining three games, right? So, would you take a chance at this? Like, would you take
See,
a
See,
chance with the?
it's this
It's
formula has
it's a very
worked
high
because
risk. It's
it's
a very high
worked
risk.
because they've had guys who've come off, right? But they still have holes as in guys out of form, guys who are clearly weak links as such as of now. They're obviously quality, but if they're not making runs, if they're not taking wickets, it's going to be a concern. One, as you pointed out, is Suyash. 2 and 3, in terms of batting, is Jitesh and Romario. Because, okay, I don't, KKR is probably the last team that's going to get you 20 for 3 in the power play, looking at how strong RCB's top 3 is, especially if Salt does come back. But still, if that happens and if they lose to KKR, which is probably one of their, I'm not saying they're a shit team, but they're eighth, and even with the run of form, they're probably one of the easier opponents that they're going to face in the remaining days. If they lose that game tomorrow, top two is going to look pretty. They'll lose some
leave
edge for sure.
leave top two. They'll go in that position with SRH where they could potentially be also staring down the barrel of elimination, right? They will join like the whole like SRH Punjab group
But
that are sort
SRH
of being
has
I
SRH
don't think
has two
so.
games to play. RCB has 3 games to play, and all they need to get to is 16. Gujarat is qualified with
No,
16.
see,
No,
yeah.
no.
So we're looking at one is qualifying and one is top two spot. RCB, if they
Mm-hmm.
win, unless they win two out of three, they're not getting a top two spot. The
Right,
minimum top two
right,
spot is at 18, very clearly, right? They
right.
need
Yeah.
to get to 18. So, which means two out of three games they need to win. Uh, I mean, it's a tough
Mm-hmm.
one. Yeah? It's not a. I
It is
mean,
tough. Some people would say don't
no,
change
it's
a
tough.
combination that's winning.
Yeah, exactly. It's a team which is played pretty much the same 12 throughout, right? Would you look at taking that risk now against Royal Challengers, knowing that you have two of your competitors coming up? You have a Punjab and Sunrisers as your next two games. It's getting tougher and tougher. So at this point, would you risk bringing in a Mangesh Yadav? It's not like he's a known devil. If
He
they
isn't.
thought,
But if Suyesh is as useless, not useless, but it's tough, man. They could go either way.
maybe I'm being
If it
unfair
is a
on him.
seaming pitch,
Maybe,
if
maybe.
it's a seaming pitch, then you might as well go for the pacer. Forget about Suyesh's form or whatever. If it's a seaming pitch, you might as well go for the extra pacer.
Correct. So what I looked at was said that based on the last game, if a Romario Shepherd is doing well enough at 1 for 18 in 3 overs, maybe get a specialist to get you 3 for 30.
But he's
To,
taken
to
his
you know
monthly
because
he's taken his monthly wicket quota. You might as well bring in Duffy.
well, I don't think that'll appear in RCB's analytics.
Yeah,
That he
I
only
don't
takes
think
Right,
wickets.
so
RCB
does-
has a saying that trend of, you know what, he has taken wickets this month, that's it. They'll probably still go for someone who can actually bat to a certain extent. I know he hasn't been that good at the bat, but they'll probably go with someone who can also bat a little bit over someone like Duffy.
My question with Romario's selection is, are they backing him because they're backing the 12 who they started with, or are they backing him for the safety he provides? He can give you 2 or 3 overs and he can bat. Are they backing that safety he gives them, or are they backing the player who they've picked from the start?
I think they believe who Romario is, his 2025 form, right? The 53 or 14 balls that he scored versus CSK. His ceiling in batting is very high and nobody hits like the way he does. And I think if you're able to, and he's the guy who got Shreyas Iyer all-important wicket in the IPL final. So I think they believe Romario Shepherd as a player can come good, especially if you want two quiet overs and you want somebody at the end who can give that impetus. So I think they believe that a Duffy's value, if you look at an MVP points versus Duffy's 3 overs versus Romario's 2 overs and Romario's batting, is of higher value. That's probably why they're backing him with the
Possibly.
ceiling in mind. This is my
Yeah.
perception.
Maybe.
Then I would look at one radical thing. I would take out Jacob Bethel and put in Venkatesh Iyer at the top of the order. That
Yeah, I'd
allows
agree
you
with
one
that.
overseas spot.
Assuming
But
Salt is
again,
not-
but again,
I-
that's not something a team will do when
Closer to
well, actually, qualification is on the line, right?
right. And the qualification
lose
is the
all
way
three.
they want.
Tomorrow they lose, then Punjab, then Sunrisers. Punjab and Sunrisers are coming hard because they also are in the same mess.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I don't.
So
Yeah,
not easy games is what I'm trying to explain. So
No, look
in
at it
the
this
not
way.
easy,
They have 3 games, and they need to win 2 of those to finish top 2, which is a spot they deserve, right? Considering how good they've been. You don't change there is the saying, you don't change a side that hasn't lost.
winning combination. You don't change a winning
Yeah,
combination.
you don't change a winning combination. But when you have such gaping holes, or when you yourself can tell what your weaknesses are, don't you think your enemies can as well? Don't you think Punjab or Sunrisers, who are also eyeing for that top 2 spot, and with GT looking so dominant for place number 1 as of now, it's going to be helpful either to take that number 2 spot, right? So it's going to
It
be
is, but I think everybody's working on their weakness or for opportunity for their strength to surface up, right? So people are aware of the weaknesses. I think it's now fairly open in terms of teams, what are their strengths and what are their weaknesses. So I don't think RCB are going to be worried saying that, oh man, right, 2 people are not informed that this team is going to come at us. The rest of the 9 or 8 can definitely carry their
come
team
at us
into a certain.
what if they go in unchanged, they lose the next match, and then the 2 after that become must-wins. Because
I think
these
yes,
things are
that will
there, they're
definitely
not-
force
and you're
them
not fixing them.
to think in that direction, to say, okay, what is that one thing that we can change where we are assured, and they'll probably also want to see if they've lost a game, where is the loss coming from, and is that player in the net, like Shane Watson, the way he was backed up. The guy didn't score 14 games, man. He comes and scores right in the last game of that series, right? The
Final.
16th game in the series.
The final, yeah.
In the final, yeah.
Are you talking about the 19th season? He
I'm
was
talking
18,
about
he
the
had
2018 season.
18, he had a couple of knocks. 19, he was rubbish, but then the final, he
no,
made.
Finally played well.
18 final he scored 100. Yeah?
No,
Against
both,
a
Sunrisers.
hundred
both
and-
finals he did really well, but 18 he made runs. 19 was when he.
But talking
couldn't
about
find it.
Shane Watson, Ajay, one of our commenters, is saying that KKR coach Shane Watson has publicly challenged Kohli to play aggressively early. This is like a bait. KKR hopes to draw an injudicious shot. ये कौन है bowler जो कोहली को out करेगा वहाँ पे?
Prince Yadav. Oh wait.
Prince,
They
no, not Prince.
ended up.
KKR.
No,
No,
I
it's
still
not.
can't. I
It is.
still
You
can't
have
get the
Karthik
shot in
Tyagi.
my
You
head.
have Karthik Tyagi, Vaibhav Arora in their opening spell. Or कौन
Narayan
है?
Chakravarti.
They हम आर
Chakravarti won't come in like that
Chakravarti
first.
has
I mean,
Narayan fifth over.
leg
Narayan come in
injury.
the fifth or sixth over.
yeah. Chakravarti also has a leg injury. That's another thing.
Narayan,
And
Narayan.
unless Narayan, I
Karthik,
don't
no,
think
not,
he'll
not
come.
Karthik Sharma. I think what this guy, I think
Karthik
Manjunath
Tyagi.
saying
Karthik
Karthik
Tyagi,
Sharma. I think it's
Tyagi.
Karthik Tyagi.
Tyagi.
Karthik Tyagi and Vaibhav Arora. And Karthik Tyagi is actually bowled very well. I remember the way KKR bowled
Yeah.
against CSK at
He's
tip-off.
quick, man.
Very
He's really
slow
Yeah,
quick.
pitch.
quick, rapid.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting in the stands and it was a slowest pitch and I couldn't see crap. One hell of a really quick guy. Yeah. Who else? Cam Green.
Cam,
Yeah, you,
don't.
Kohli bangs him for 3 sixes and then top edge is won by mistake.
So what KKR has been doing fairly well is getting Anukul Roy to bowl 2 overs in the power play,
power play. Right. You're right.
right? Which might
And
actually
by
be
the
a
way,
very
it's a
good
great
matchup. for
matchup versus Kohli, right? Slow left arm
Yeah, that
orthodox.
is.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, so KKR thankfully is not following that thing. He bowled actually to against Sunrisers as well as against RR with 2 lefties in the opening slot. So and he's did okay. Like he got whatever 18-20 runs in each of those times. So what that is allowing Tyagi to come in little later, because Tyagi with the new ball is a little dicey phenomenon. So with Anukul taking 2 overs, Vaibhav taking 2 overs, Sunil Narayan taking 1 over, then Tyagi has to come in only on the 6th over of the power play.
Is Umran anywhere in that picture?
I don't
Hey,
think.
wait. Before going to Umran Malik, I just think this is something that could potentially choke Virat Kohli, right? Because Kohli is coming off form where he's lost 2 games. He's got out without scoring.
3.
0 of 2, 0 of 1. 3 is it?
And
Three
before that he got out. I mean he hit Rabada for 20 in 1 over, but pretty much got out the next ball after that.
Got out
Next,
next ball.
Yeah.
so
So
he
here,
25
if you're going
games.
to choke Kohli, because let's say Salt is, God forbid, Salt is not coming in. Okay, Kohli is not the same player without Salt. Of course, he scores, but Salt, complements his style.
No,
so much that
they
Kohli is able
complement
to-
each other.
Yeah, they
They
complement each other.
Now, if you're going to cut that out and Jacob Bethel is struggling, and or the onus is on Virat Kohli to score, then you have somebody who is against Kohli's arc to go against this kind of bowling. It might be a very interesting matchup, because if they are able to draw early blood and keep RCB quiet. RCB has been slightly weak when they have batted first. That's the only time when RCB look if it's a slightly slower wicket, and it happens. They're playing in Kolkata tomorrow, Raipur, you said, right?
Raipur, yeah.
Yeah, if it's
You're
going to be a
completely
sporting
right,
track.
because Phil Salt, Kohli kind of struggles against left-arm offspin, right? Phil Salt absolutely eviscerates it. So with a slightly out of form Bethel at the other end, things you can smell an upset here, especially
Right.
with the top three.
Manjunatha is saying Bethel's 100 loading tomorrow. Sure, I'll keep Bethel as my fantasy captain. So, but yeah, I think that's where we are. I think we've had a nice long chat today. An hour into the conversation, 120
Very
people on the
informational
stream.
chat.
Yeah, a lot of information shared. I think the highlight of the show is not the man of the match that was there, Rabada, today. It was somebody who has similar skin color but a more sporty beard called Didi. Didi was the man of the match in today's show.
Yo.
Oh no!
So, but yeah, but-
I'm going to show you who he is after stream.
Yeah,
please.
I'm going to show you who he is after stream.
Yeah, we'll show him what he has done. It's gonna look so bad.
Okay, so yeah. That said, let's pick our point of predictions. I'm going to go for a slightly bold prediction because I'm now excited by Anukul Roy to see if there's an opportunity here. It makes the IPL more interesting in terms of the race for a final spot. I'd like KKR to come to 11. I like RCB to stay there. So I'm going to go for KKR. KKR wins the toss, puts RCB into bat, chases and wins. So I'm going to go for KKR. And a left field choice.
Royal Challengers Bangalore are going to win.
Yep, same here. RCB. They'll probably
Yeah.
choke the living hell out
Hello,
of
RCB.
They'll probably
So,
choke
Nirav, are
KKR.
you also going
Yeah,
with the Raipur Challengers Bangalore?
Rajput.
I am thinking it will be the team batting second.
Arey bhai.
Oh, very,
So
very.
the toss is the vital factor
That is a while. That's
tomorrow.
what I'm saying. If the toss goes in the
So
way, there might be an opportunity. It's a 5% chance for KKR to beat this RCB side. There, I would in fact really be sad if RCB don't make it to
so
the top
what,
two.
at this point, what does the win predictor say at this point? Like well before the match, well before the toss, well before we know which pitch. What is
Probably
the
RCB. Probably
is there
RCB.
a
Just
is there a win predictor at this point in the game?
I don't think.
Right?
I don't know if you can find
It
this
only
somewhere.
come it only
Uh,
comes in.
I
50 on Google it says 55-45 to Bangalore.
that
As of
says
see
for
most of
every
these.
match.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. See,
That says
most
that
math algorithms.
I think the win predictor kicks in only after the toss.
Yeah, win
I mean,
No,
predictor.
the
there
team
are
batting
there
second.
are there are very few. I've done this. I've done this when I ran cricket.com. We had this win predictor pre-match. Then bases your 11 and the matchups and the simulations, you have another win predictor, number that shows up, and something which is right before the first ball. That's where it starts to adjust. But numbers are never more than 60-40 because most of these sides in the IPL are quite close to each other. And on that day, a side like KKR can also beat RCB. So, but I'm as much as normal course would say RCB would swamp this KKR side. KKR has a certain energy which they're coming, and I think they're like coming back like David. RCB is the goalie with Tim David, and yeah, an opportunity for KKR to probably
Yeah.
win. But
Yeah,
but yeah, that's
Both
my
Ajay
choice.
and Steve Vai believe that easy 2 points.
and yeah, I
Steve
mean
Bai's
that's.
67% win rate or
अयो
prediction rate.
डोरियन आपकी क्या राय है?
किसमें कौन जीतेगा वो उसमें
हाँ, इस मुकाबले में
इस मुकाबले के हाँ.
इस मुकाबले में ठीक है
विजेता कौन होगा?
आप कोई लैपटॉप को देख रहे हैं क्या क्या अगला क्या बोल रहे हैं
Generally, if somebody asks a question and if the other person keeps on
Dorian,
laughing,
तुम्हारा biceps बहुत बढ़िया है.
I call it the Juhi Chawla template. We'll get to his biceps in a bit. The Juhi Chawla template is to laugh for any answer, just laugh, and it is in fact Corbo Lorbo's side, her side tomorrow. As much as we always call it the Shah Rukh Khan side, we never call it the Juhi Chawla side. I think her husband
Mehta.
probably owns Jay Mehta owns a slightly bigger stake in Kolkata Knight Riders. Or
No,
how is
but to
it?
be fair, aren't a quarter of KKR's Instagram followers because of SRK?
Of course they
Quarter?
are.
It must be
Biggest
2/3.
superstar.
Yeah.
Much. But yeah, that said, that's where we are, talking about. Even if you were there, we saw that the way the game, played out versus that RCB MI game, and I thought RCB were on the right side of luck because MI, had a bunch of piss poor decisions, but RCB were stretched and they brought out the champion in Krunal Pandya. For that game, it'll be interesting to see how tomorrow's game unfolds. We'll be there. I think we should maybe start the stream slightly earlier and do a live stream for the RCB versus who? I'm sorry. Yes,
KKR.
KKR. Yeah, I'm getting old. So yeah, Steve Boy saying "Yaar by the Korbo Lorbo." No, Korbo Lorbo Jitbo is the anchor or is the tagline. They've also been as dated as CSK and not changing it from whistle
Changed it, which is okay.
So yeah, so that's where we are, and yeah, thanks to all of the
That's where we'll
160
stay.
people who are been on the stream today. If you're watching it on Twitter, you can also subscribe to us on YouTube and also now on Spotify and Instagram. Cow Corner Dugout. Subscribe to us. You'll get notified whenever we go live tomorrow, 10:30 or slightly earlier. That's how we'll be. I think it's going to be an interesting game tomorrow. Waiting to see how that goes. Till then, the three of us. Good night, and yeah.